Rolling.
Okay, so first things first, I do want to say to everyone that reached out to make sure that we were okay. Thank you. That was very sweet of you guys. We're doing good.
Did people really do that?
Yeah, people were calling the phone and emailing.
Yeah, emailing. Yes. Thank you.
Very nice.
Honestly,
We've got the best. We got the best group of people.
We do.
Yeah.
And you know, the news around the country was probably freaking everybody out.
Well, we've done a hurricane video before. So on this one, we're going to do a fun one. We're going to look at maybe the safest hurricane-proof 55-plus communities in the state of Florida. We're going to look at a couple different factors that maybe go into it. We'll look at areas. And then I think at the end of the video, I'm going to designate. Now, this is a little dangerous to do.
I don't even know where this is going.
But I'm going to designate the best hurricane-proof 55-plus community.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's dangerous.
That's so dangerous.
Put all the disclaimers, because obviously we have no idea. I was going to say, so we should, before we really start the video, we should talk about our hurricane experience. What happened?
Well, we of course had dinner, and then we got lackadaisical, and I was saying, oh, this isn't going to be much at 9 o'clock when I went home, and then 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going, okay, I know what sustained winds means now, because it started blowing and didn't stop. And I think we had, what do you think, 45, 55 mile an hour sustained winds, and then we would have these gusts that was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't, my sweet cabana didn't have anything. We had some water come in under the doors, and that was just driving rain, and I get that when I pressure wash the house. It was just a little bit more than usual. Walking the trail the next day, there were trees down. There's parts of this trail that are flooded and still flooded, so the lake got a little high. But you just walk around, the little bit.
Well, the flood, and because Florida's so flat, like the lakes are high. The lakes are, a little bit higher here. There's some docks that are kind of under, and there's a lot of docks that are not.
A lot
under.
of docks got damaged. Honestly, we're pretty unscathed, and that's typically the center of the state story, because it's incredible how a storm gets slowed down as soon as it hits land.
In the middle of the night, we were hearing stuff like hitting the windows, so we decided to sleep on a floor in a bathroom, just in case. Never really even thought that before.
Yeah.
And then listening to it, like, I was thinking next morning we're going to wake up and it's going to be just devastating. And again, some trees down and stuff, but it really was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I know. Thank God.
It sounded intense, though. I will say it was pretty. That was the first one I was freaked out in.
Well, bottom line, coastal is a little bit more concerning than, of course, the center of the state. However, they're built to codes, and a big part of, I just got back from Sanibel, Fort Myers, and a lot of flooding, but it's the coastal parts, and a couple of miles in, not so bad. So it's a huge difference not being right on the beach or on the.
My mom didn't have power for, I think, like a week.
In Yalaha?
Yeah, week and a half.
Yeah.
Here for this one?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's right here in the center, and we didn't even lose power here.
Really? Yeah.
It just
really depends.
Generators are probably a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on where you're at too. Like she's a little bit farther out.
But even like my dad in Legacy
was
lost
out
power,
for a bit.
but it was up pretty quick.
Really? This is an important little bit for our hurricane safest community that we're going to get into.
Oh, it's right next to the electric
I don't want to give
company.
anything else away. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so things to consider when looking for a lower risk area. First of all, your elevations, right? You don't want to be along the coast. You don't want to be in flood risks. So not only paying attention to your general elevation, but then also specifically your house's elevation.
So if that's flood zones, and if you're in the E zone, A zone, or X zone, and that's important, if that's important to you. Now, some people, they're going to go beachfront regardless, but just leave during the storm. Yeah. Don't stick around.
So the other thing is going to be building codes changed. When did building codes change?
Building codes have changed
like
along the way.
2010?
2012, there were some big changes.
It was after a couple of big hurricanes.
Yeah, but then it changed again after Ian.
Okay.
So they continually update those. Mm-hmm. It's pretty significant now. In fact, a lot of builders complain about it because they think it's over the top.
Last thing on that too, if you're paying attention to your flood zones and stuff, you're going to get cheaper insurance. Right?
That's true. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, flood insurance, obviously, or all insurance, they take into consideration your flood zone, your elevation, the building, the year built, all of that is considered.
But what I will say is, like, if you really zoom out and you look at the full history of the hurricanes, the entire state of Florida is covered in spaghetti models. So, you know what I mean? Like, also, it's probably more important not to be in like a place that's dangerous from flooding. What is it called? Storm surge. You know what I mean? It's probably more important to be like in a decent place where if a hurricane does hit you, you're going to be safer than
even on the coast. Absolutely.
Because literally the entire state of Florida is covered. Now, in terms of 55 plus communities as well, most of them are inland, not necessarily directly on the coast. FEMA has a national risk index for hurricanes. It's actually pretty cool. This is fun to look at. But specifically with hurricanes, it goes by county, and you've got very high risk, relatively high, relatively moderate, and then relatively low in certain areas. And I don't exactly know how this is all kind of figured out, but you can see, specific counties that are, even on the coast, for whatever reason, are less risky than others. I'm going to say this. So all these things to consider, I'm going to designate Del Webb, Sunbridge, or the gatherings at Lake Nona as the best hurricane place to be. Why are you shaking your head? You don't even know why I'm going to say this.
Airport.
No. Why do you think I said those two?
I honestly don't know.
Brand new master plan community, and Tavistock has put all the electricity underground. They never lose electricity. The only reason we lose electricity here is because we have all these damn power lines and trees set them in. Yeah.
Wow.
That's nice.
That's good.
That's really nice to have.
That's really good.
So I will say I know that.
I don't know anything about that. Does it? If it floods, does that do anything to the underground line? No.
No. And I've had a friend that's a lineman. I talked to him about it. It's just like it's newer. So all these places that have established grids with it, it would just cost so much to change. So where Tavistock came in and they were like starting from the ground up, everything's underground.
Okay, so underground lines.
And it's more expensive if you do have to. It's just more expensive if you have to work on stuff, whatever.
The bottom line, we're just trying to give you guys food for thought on what you would ask about when you find your favorite area.
Because after you get through the storm and you're like no damage or anything, the worst part is losing electricity for a while.
Yeah.
It sucks. Hopefully that was helpful. We kind of just rambled. We do that every single time. All right, well, anyways, thank you guys for everyone that reached out and checked in on us. That was very sweet of you guys. Thank you, guys. See you again soon. You're bringing bad energy to the whole thing. I can't have.
Oh, rapid roar, that stock car